Fun fact number 80. Now, I've talked before about why I started this channel because I wanted to promote the books that I wrote. And that's true. And I read this one in the entirety. If you go back through the fun facts, I read a chapter at a time of Children of Light, which is really the first book that I ever wrote. Um, and it's a sci-fi, space travel, futuristic book. Uh, and then the second one in this series that I wrote is called, it's much thicker as you can see. It's called Children of Water. And this one I haven't shared, I haven't read it anywhere or shared it in any form, but it's the second book in this series. And then you'll notice that third book, it's called Children of the Beyond, and it's a much thinner book, but it has a lot more to it. And I have another book called Golden, and I have Hummingbird Secrets, which is a children's book, and short stories book, which I've read some of the short stories here as well. So I'm not selling a lot of books, but been contacted by a lot of different people to try to, well, they try to get my money, which I don't have any, but they try to say that they're going to do a radio interview or they're going to help me create a website and help me create content on the internet to be more exposed, to help me sell books, but everything costs something and I just don't have the money for that. But they asked me a lot of questions, and some of them have read some of the stories. Most of them have not. Most of them just asked me if I am who I am and if I wrote this book and if I wrote a book. And sometimes they don't even have a book title. And when I ask them, they do have a book title when I ask them about the book. They can't tell me anything about it. Now, there's been some that have actually read the books and have really enjoyed them, but I just don't have the money to put into anything like that right now, or I haven't at all. But a lot of them ask me questions like what you would ask somebody in an interview about their project. And I always tell everybody that Children of Light is my first book that I wrote, but it came from a dream that I had. And since I wrote it, there's been a lot of things out there that have kind of mimicked or replicated or had ideas to what similar ideas of some of the stuff that's in the book. I mean, I could say the same with this one as too. There's some similar things, but I think this one has a lot more crossover in society. And I call it my more ethereal book. It's like, this is how we get to the future. Here's some backstories, but it's also much more ethereal. And there's like a little mystery, but not a lot. But it's a much more ethereal book. And that's what I kind of say about this one. They're like, why? And one of the questions they asked me is, why do you write? Why did you write these books? And it was like, I have a story to tell and I want to share it with other people. And some of the stories really, um, I hope they'll help people in some way and help people with perspective. Like my book Golden, I even have a forward to the people to all my friends who always said they didn't feel like they fit in anywhere and belonged anywhere. This book is for you. It's a very big book about nobody's perfect and self-acceptance and self-love, really, and couched in a fantasy sci-fi book. Um, Now, Children of Water, I always say, is It's like when you have a story to tell and you just have to write it, you have to write it and you have to publish it because you want to share, and hopefully somebody will like it and will understand. It's like somebody understanding the world that you live in and you. Uh, Children of Water is much thicker because it's a much more grounded book. It's a much more questing type of book, and there is a mystery to be solved in this one. There's a lot more uncovered, but there's also a lot more introduced in this book. So this one, it kind of has a lot in it, but it's a much more um, grounded book. And then the third one, this one, and I wrote this. I was living in Marin County and taking the ferry to San Francisco and going to work. Now I was working at Citibank in Oakland, and on my lunch breaks, I wrote this and my free time. This one I wrote on the ferry for the most part, going to work from Marin County to San Francisco. And in spiral bound notebooks by hand. Excuse me, my nose just plugged up. Better take some allergy pills. And then this one, I started to write around the same time. The ideas were there for all of these, but I started to write this one around the same time as this one, but I didn't get too far with it, and just finish it more recently. This one explains a lot of the stuff that's in these two books, and also like there's characters in Children of Water. And then they're elemental type of things, but there's stuff in Children of Water that there's really no backstory to. There's no real explanation of what the characters that are introduced or where they came from or certain aspects of both of these books that I don't really explain how something came to be or where a character came from or how they are different from the other species that I created. And this one explains it. And this is the one where the first 2 or 3 pages I say how the universe was created. But it also explains a lot more. And at the end of the book, there's actually a code. I don't know if you can see this, but it's very faint numbers in the last few pages of the book that is a code that you have to decode to really find out what all of the stories are about. Everyone that I've written. So that is, I wanted to talk about how I started the children series. It's probably longer ago than you are old, but I wrote other things in between and did a lot of other things in between. So when they're asking me interview questions about my books, even though I never get the interviews, they do pre-interview questions, and they ask me why did you feel like you needed to write the stories that you wrote? What motivated you? And to me, it's like anything. If something is a part of you, you just have to. You just have to. It's a want to, but it becomes a have to because the more you don't do it, the more you have to do it. And until you do it, you're not ever going to be able to do anything else. And so that was what that was. And so these are this is the sci-fi trilogy that I've often spoke about, which is Children of Light, Children of Water, and Children of the Beyond. Those are the first 3 books. And I think they're pretty cool, but I don't know if anybody else ever were. I don't, when people ask me, well, books should I buy? I usually tell them to start with the short story books because it gives them an idea of my writing style and the different voices and the different genres that I can write in. But I also recommend Golden because I wrote it to be a little bit more mainstream. And I think these, at least, even though they were written this one was written a long time ago, and so is this one pretty much. Um, they're still not that mainstream and not. Uh, they're supposed to make you feel and think, and so a lot of people want to just be entertained. So buy Golden if you just want entertainment, but there is some underlying depth to that one as well. So I just wanted to say a little bit about my writing and Children of Light, or the Children of series, and where that started and how it began, and a little bit more about the books that I have written and some of the things I've experienced with people wanting to interview or create more buzz about my books, but also wanting money. And through my research, the best thing to do is to research a publishing company and publishing or marketing company for a publisher. And you have to pay like $5,000 minimally to get the buzz going about a book. The other ones are like, oh, $600 for an interview, $1,000 for an interview. We'll create a website for you and advertising and place them on Facebook or YouTube. And a long time ago, I tried to do some YouTube and it just didn't work out. So, but they all want money. So I'd rather try to save up the $5,000 and find somebody myself and hire them than have people cold call me and do it because I don't trust that 100%. So that is some of my writing and publishing journey and experiences. A little bit more about my Children of series. And that was Fun Fact number 80. Have a beautiful day. Ciao, Bellas.